All right. So welcome everyone to the August 6th meeting of the Scio Township Environmental Sustainability Task Force. And with that, any items that people want to add to the agenda officially?
Not for me.
Okay, and Jeff Jackson did say he wouldn't be able to join us tonight. So, all right. So I have, all right, communications and correspondence. Renee Smallwood, I just forwarded this to folks, so you probably haven't gotten a chance to take a look at it, but she has some additional information and I think she's really fed us a lot of good information. I think we can pull it together and use it as a part of both launching our food waste compost. I'll also be talking to Murphy a little bit about any kind of yard waste program that she was starting to initiate, and that we can really deal with both yard waste and food waste, and composting in the fall newsletter. And so I think it's a perfect time because that's when people, start thinking about burning and the Board of Trustees did update the ordinance and so forth. So there can be some things that we can work with, even Chief Hood with on really encouraging people to compost their yard waste and really reconsider any kind of burning at all. So, um,
And the,
yeah,
the, the updated ordinance, when does that go into effect?
to tell you the truth, I would have to check on when that is, but they still allow recreational burning and burning for environmental purposes, so prairies and that type of thing. And it's just really folks that are burning to burn any kind of waste that it is it has been further restricted. So you always had to permit it.
I don't know if others read Renee's last two submissions, but she
Hmm.
is not particularly happy with the effort so far.
Hmm.
Uh, and I can understand she makes some good points. My only concern might be is that I wouldn't want to see us get so restrictive that you can't go out and start your grill.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, I think the key is really education and getting people to understand that our like even using your gas range, any kind of combustion is a health issue. And Molly, you might have some other information that as we pull together the resources for this to really let people know so that they have it should be something really, thought about. It isn't something um, that is really healthy. We think about, being around the campfire and all those sorts of things, but you do inhale a lot of those, combusted and partially combusted particles, etc. And it's also encouraged, people like to have their kids around the campfire and burning, and it's just, yeah. Go ahead, Dana.
Excuse me, I just had to cough, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah.
And you notice when you
So,
sit around a campfire, the smoke always comes at you, even if you change positions.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't I'm someone that grew up camping and did a lot of stuff with wood and yeah, I think it's just a matter of really doing a good job of educating folks. I mean, yeah, with it. So that's and thank you, Renee, for providing a lot of information. And Molly, maybe we can work together on what that article looks like. And Charlie and Jeff will work on the the launching of the composting program, et
Yeah.
cetera. I'm
Thanks for the
relatively
Renee for
sure it's
bringing
going to
it
get
up.
approved because we have the
Yeah.
budget for it, et cetera. So it's just a matter of um, making sure that we coordinate the hiring of the intern or whoever, yeah, to help promote it. And it's a great opportunity to launch it at the sustainability fair, et cetera,
And
along with
admittedly,
a lot of.
burning was something that kind of got biased until Renee brought it up.
Mhm, exactly. Well, I remember as a
I guess I
kid.
could see why
Yeah,
too. It's not like, I mean, in
yeah.
my experience, I very
Hmm.
rarely see smoke rising up any place in the township. But then
Hmm.
again, I'm not standing outside looking all day either. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I
Yeah, and
think,
if you
most of us probably don't, so we just didn't think of it.
Yeah, yeah. And what's interesting is, the when we had the Catalyst Communities tour, the Fellows tour, the fire chief did a full tour of the fire station. And one of the things that he brought up was how, after every fire, they go into the decontam room. I mean, the stuff that comes off of a fire, there are so many poisonous things that they actually go through a full decontamination and the cleaning of all their turnout gear and so forth is really something that's taken seriously. So that's that's a good indication of this stuff is carcinogenic and it's not something that you want to
Hmm.
have a lot of exposure to. Mhm. Okay. All right. The other thing is the MishCon conference. It has both Kathy and I have some conflicts, but it has to do a lot with composting and waste. And we were wondering, Charlie, if maybe you and Jeff might be good. We get two free um, registrations. It is in Grand Rapids. So we thought we'd throw that open to you and Jeff as maybe wanting to be the Scio Township or one of you and Chris Chang, to be one of the Scio folks. So I will make sure you have that information and you and Jeff and Chris can kind of decide what makes sense. Because we should definitely send someone to keep to um, continue to have SIO representation at
What,
those
do you know
meetings.
what the dates are?
Yeah. Kathy,
It's,
do you have
I
it
don't have the specific dates. It's the Friday and Saturday, the first Friday and Saturday in November.
of November? Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah. So I will make sure you, Jeff, and
All
Chris
right.
Chang get that email and yeah, because there's obviously an overnight stay, and there might be some other funding that we can get from the township to support the overnight stay.
Right.
Yeah, because 2 hours going up and back is, yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
is
drive to
nice.
Grand Rapids every so often. That's not that. It's really the overnight stay that's the thing. So,
Hmm.
and it
Hmm.
does take a
Yeah.
little gas, but
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Be great. Public comment. Pam and Rob.
Hi. So I've got a couple questions having to do with the waste, and I can ask them now, or I can ask them later when Charlie talks about stuff, or when y'all talk about stuff on
Mhm.
on the composting.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so
Mhm.
I've been putting a lot of thought when I'm in my kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to compost. So what would I do with this, or what would I do with that? So, how small should corn cobs and watermelon rind be cut? Can I put paper plates in the compost? And can I put a layer of wood ash in my bucket to control smell?
Hmm.
So those are my
good
questions
questions.
as I've been uh, trying to put myself into the shoes of, okay, I'm doing this today. All right.
Hmm.
here's my
Mhm.
question. So there you go.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we can I can answer some of them I can't. So, yeah. Um,
Oh, and my final kind of snide comment is that somebody in Scio Township needs to find Canada because the smoke from their fires was horrendous, just terrible the last several days. I can't imagine people further up north who got more of the brunt of it, but yeah,
mhm,
there you go.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can't find them for the way the wind blows.
Why not?
Yeah, I haven't even looked at what, the fires in, the North Rim of the Grand Canyon. That fire's gotta be, yeah, I don't know where that smoke's going, but that one's gotta be a good one too. So I'm sure yeah. Yes. Okay. Um, all right, the next thing is I did forward everyone the link. The Bonnie, our CLC fellow, completed the curriculum, the sustainability curriculum, and the goal is to um, uh, kind of use that to give all elected officials, committees, staff, and any members of the public who want to um, take the curriculum, sort of like a foundation on sustainability and the uh, the SCAP plan. So we have ownership of this now, and I'll be talking with the Board of Trustees on how to implement it. Um, and it was done in conjunction with some surveys, et cetera, of the staff. And so the whole idea is just from talking with people, we know that language, what are the goals? How do we really implement a sustainability plan within the township? So the idea is to get everybody kind of having the same foundation so that they can start implementing it in their their roles in the township. Um, and obviously, I'm sort of assembling a whole list of policies and things that we should be considering, including, Kathy's has some things that the Planning Commission needs to work on from an ordinance standpoint, but there are also some policies around purchasing, our fleet, those types of things if we're going to really meet our goals. I mean, obviously, we've taken a big chunk on with the replacement of the HVAC at Township Hall, but and actually heating is a big piece of carbon emissions, so that's a good chunk. But we have some other things that we can, kind of be working on as we move forward. Having the composting is going to really facilitate a lot more reduction of our waste and the ability to have zero waste events and so forth at Township Hall. Also be able to have some education things around the food waste. Um, the I don't know if everyone's had a chance to kind of go through it or still want to, but probably most efficiently is if you have some comments now, or if there are some comments, you can always email them to me. And if there's anything we need to change before we launch this, we want to do that first. If there's some enhancements, that'll probably come a little bit later. So.
I think I wasn't, I had joined maybe after this idea had first come to be. Can you just remind me the goal and audience for the curriculum? Because I did look through it and like obviously no corrections. I thought it was really great, but also didn't know exactly how it was to be distributed and what the goals were.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. All right, so we'll see how it goes. We did get I think 22 of the staff, contributed to responses with the survey and so forth, which I was really happy with. That means there's at least a little bit of engagement, um, with the overall staff, because I forget how many staff we actually have. It might be somewhere between 30 and 40, I think. So.
Um,
Yeah.
I noticed a few little things, especially in the second module. The first module I thought was pretty solid,
Mm-hmm.
pretty good. The second module, I saw a few things. It's not helpful to me to go through them in detail right here, but things,
Mm-hmm.
for example, someplace in it, it said something about transportation being one of the main causes of carbon emissions in Scio Township. And then under the transport section, it cites United Nations. Transport is 14%. And
Okay.
it's like there's some things like that that I feel like they should be lined up. There's a few things, for example, one of the things they note under things that we've already done, that we've been doing
Mm-hmm.
under transport was just a bullet point, completed Jackson Road corridor. I think a lot of people will have no idea what that is.
So
So,
some sort of link to that study document. Mm-hmm.
right, things, but I have half a dozen little things like that. So I guess probably
Okay.
email them to you
Great.
specifically.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And then we can, before we launch it, we can update a few things. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought overall was pretty good. I looked at most of it, not the whole thing yet, but probably most of
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it takes a good hour to go through it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry
Okay.
to be late, everybody.
No, that's okay.
We'll
Thank
find you,
you.
Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just today I got a really good resource that I'm trying to figure out how we can get it out to people before the newsletter because like EVs and so forth, the deadline is September 30th for purchase. So I'll try and work with Mary Gillis on, you know, um, at least putting some things on the website. And then maybe we can also announce them at for in some of the meetings that people are attending, that there are these resources that because of the changes in the tax credits and so forth, if you're anticipating doing it, buying a vehicle or uh, installing solar, etc. It's time to jump on it. EVs by the end of September for folks that don't know, and solar on residential solar is the end of the year. It has to be connected to the grid, which means you gotta have it probably installed by October. And there are several solarized groups that are happening, and anybody can join those. So trying to get some of that information out. Commercial, it has a longer horizon. So any businesses or the township, etc. And that's the other thing is if the township is thinking about doing any solar, etc., um, they should also get that in their budget. And so it kind of, I'm just trying to figure out how to get that information out. If anyone else has any ideas, maybe, I was thinking the Sun Times has been very good. And maybe, Tim, maybe you and I can talk with our contacts at the Sun Times, and maybe they can do an article that would have some links for people and, so that, we, I have a cat that was had a lack of attention for the last 10 days and is not very happy with me. So,
An
but in
article,
any event, yeah,
Jan, an article on
on
better.
how the rebates, the new timelines for all the tax credits for, you know,
Yeah.
weatherization for heat pumps, all of those things. I think that, having someone at the sometimes do something on that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've got to get a hold of the owner. What's his name? Chuck? Anyway,
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
the
and I
guy.
have
Now I can't
Lonnie
say
who,
his last name either.
yeah, and Lonnie has been our like the planning commission contact who does stuff. So if we hit maybe both of them with some content, maybe they can publish that. So that would be at least getting it out, the information out to the local area.
yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay.
Okay.
I'll either Doug, oh, I think it was less. Yeah,
Okay. All
he's
right.
he's editor in charge now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I think they would be, I think they would be amenable to it.
Doug Marin.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and along with some resources too. So that'd be great. Okay. And then Mary Gillis can pick that up on our website and reinforce it. Okay. So, um, yeah. Okay, regenerative agriculture. Tim, did I send you that Washoe County map that we just published? We've done we've remember we had that Scio Township map of CSAs and farms and farmers
Yep.
markets. It's now enlarged to Washtenaw County. So if I didn't send that to you, I think the link was the link in the, did I put the link in the agenda? Probably not. Oh, geez. Let me get the link and I'll get that to you. And if there are any that you know that we missed, um,
Yeah, well, I'll have to take a look at it and I will. I'll
yep.
let you
Okay.
know what's
And
what.
Dana, the same thing.
Dana
Okay.
Doherty?
Yeah.
I don't think I know Dana.
Do you know Dana?
I don't,
Hey, Dana.
Well,
Dana did the survey
Tim,
of the different what was being produced in Scio from a mapping standpoint from the major farms. All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dana's background is um civil engineering. So that's
Hmm.
helpful.
That's always a civil thing to do, Dana.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, your family still does some farming, right, Dana?
well, my brother's got 10 acres of grapes. He's got a vineyard and
Mm-hmm.
an acre of vegetable garden. I just got done today putting up ratatouille and minestrone soup and stuff from my garden. So yeah, we're
It's all right. That's cool. All right. Anything else that Tim that you want to report out on?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh gosh. Uh, I think I think a lot about the farming community here in town. I mean, in the township and in Washtenaw County in particular, there's so much going on because of the new administration with the USDA and who they're favoring and who they're not and blah blah blah. All of that, and some of it's pretty disturbing because they've just cut out a lot of support to young farmers and new farmers,
Hmm.
which is not a good thing. But here in the township, as I think I've told most of you, I'm part of the LPC Land Preservation Commission too, and we think that we will be coming up with a couple of pieces of property. I can't say what they are, but that's the general idea to get a couple of pieces of property and offer them at a far, far discounted to commercial value price, offer them to local farms or farmers, and preserve the pieces of property, get conservation easements on them, buy them first, protect them, and then sell them at about 30%, 25 to 35% of the commercial value to a local farmer. It's a great program.
Mhm.
That's what Honeybee did. We did that with Honeybee. That was our first project, and we did it with Mike Vestergaard. So anyway, that's just coming up around the bend, but that's all
Mhm.
that's all I can think of at the moment, Jan.
Mhm. But that's a really tangible way of helping younger farmers. So that's or any farmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because getting access to land and
Mhm.
tools is the number one barrier to new farms.
Mhm.
And Tim, as I recall, there were quite a few farmers who wanted to buy the Vestergaard property.
Yeah, there
And
were.
so there are a lot of farmers out there who would be very interested in something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, some of those ideas have passed their time, and but there are new people with new ideas too. But we haven't put out any requests for proposals yet. That's a ways away from now, but we
Mhm.
need to get those out by winter time so that whoever is interested, the farmers can work on their plan and proposal in the off time in the
Off
future.
season. Mm.
Yep.
Mhm. Perfect. All right. For energy, I think I attached the Scio case study, um, which is going to be used by the Resilient Washtenaw and the 2030 district to encourage other municipalities in ways of reducing their greenhouse gas emissions. And then part of what we'll be able to do, we've already done it, with the LEDs and the My Green Power, and we'll have some real data once the geosystem will probably be complete November is the schedule right now. And so it'll take a full year to be able to get the energy and the greenhouse gas emissions data on it. But that'll be the sort of kind of added on to the case study. So um, that that's great because we've got Linden Township, Ann Arbor Township, Pittsfield's doing some things, and certainly the county's doing quite a bit with their solar, and they're also electrifying their buildings. So I think from a municipality standpoint, that's good. I'm going to be talking with Beatrice, who is the one of the program managers, the Resilience Office, and talking about how we can do a little bit more outreach and what the needs are. Because I know one of the things that we've identified for Scio is we really need a fleet evaluation and planning for electrification of at least the light duty vehicles. And the chief is already on, tracking what's happening with the electric fire trucks and things like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting. And the idea is to really share the strategies that everyone's using and what the costs are, the true costs, et cetera. And there's another, um, and also sharing the process of getting um, the direct pay too, because that's key to offsetting a lot of the first costs of both solar and geo um, for municipalities. And folks who are interested in buildings, um, the public schools are going to be doing an October webinar, and they're going to be talking about all they have, I think, 4 or 5 new schools that are all going to be zero net zero emissions. So that'll, there's some really good things happening in the county. So that's energy and buildings. All right. Natural ecosystems. We had an email from Murphy about this having a bird team. And I think both Tim and Bob were interested in that. Did anyone either of you connect with Murphy on it?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right. So that's the whole idea about bird migration and keeping them safe. There are quite a few things. So bird counting, yeah, I mean, there's a whole range of things that can be done to support bird populations. Okay.
Tim,
And
you're
that
on
might be
mute.
good. We haven't had any materials on bird types of things. So if there's something that we can add to the sustainability fair on birds and so forth, I think that would be really helpful. I know we do have in Scio, we do have the dark sky requirement for all commercial lighting, but there is no ordinance around residential. So again, relying on the education about, the lighting that everyone is using would be one piece of information that we could promote there.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I missed, Bob was interested and who else was interested?
Tim.
Tim, okay.
Tim's
Tim, you're on mute.
Actually, it's Tim. I think it's Tim's significant other, right?
Tim, you're on mute.
Mm-hmm. You're muted, Tim.
He heard you.
Ooh, no, I'm not muted. Can
Oh,
you
you
hear
Now
are.
me?
you
Yeah,
are.
you just came off mute.
Ah,
Were you saying something? I think it was your wife who might be interested, right? In the
yeah,
bird
she
piece.
is, yeah, but we both are because we
Mhm.
see a lot of birds off the back of our porch every evening, and Patty's gardens are surrounded by birds, and we were up in the Finger Lakes a couple of weeks ago and managed to get to Ithaca and to Cornell's ornithology lab,
Oh,
which was
yes.
fascinating, and yeah, got me more interested. I love the birds.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think that could be some more information that we could give, and there might be, some folks that could help support that at the sustainability fair too. So that's our opportunity for education. Yeah, Bob?
you might
No, that was
consider,
Pam.
oh,
Oh, Pam,
you-
sorry.
that's okay. You might consider talking to Alessandri Reed. She has trained the crows in her backyard to come and devour a chicken carcass, a roasted chicken. So she's on like a first name basis with several of the crows.
So
Don't mess with
what
the
you're saying is
crows.
she might have an interest as well.
Well,
I-
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
Pam, tell her about this and Murphy uh, at the office, and Murphy's in charge.
Okay,
So you're
I will. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
Great.
also going to point out a lot of Murphy's letter talked about the whole idea of more native plantings of
Mhm.
native
Yeah.
perennials and all that kind of thing, and that would be an obvious link up with wild ones, for example.
Mhm.
I know that one of the Ann Arbor Wild Ones former chair people lives in Scio Township. There's got to be bunches of
Mm.
people that are really into it.
Mhm.
So I think we could
Mhm.
we could get some names perhaps and give them to Murphy.
Yeah, and now I think they've done 2 of those forests too.
Right.
Um, Yeah,
Right.
and that would be a really interesting education piece too.
Mhm.
And Murphy, I think that has started on the restoration of the West Scio Preserve too, some reforestation there. And the yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, she's had some controlled burns to get the prairies going.
And David Reed has his,
Yeah,
the tallgrass prairie, which is just amazing. Yeah.
yep.
I'm wondering if we can use Wave to take people out to actually experience things, I don't know.
Hmm.
Hmm. That'd take
Hmm.
a little bit of work, but it'd be, yeah, because that tallgrass prairie, especially, and at that time of year, that'd be awesome. But all right. Yep.
And
Okay.
I could never find the agenda for tonight, but I assume there's something about
Mhm.
preparing for the sustainability fair.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe.
I think mobility, I wanted to let people know that there is a joint meeting of the DDA, Board of Trustees, and Planning Commission to review the Jackson Road Corridor study and recommendations on the 19th. And so probably next Tuesday or Wednesday, that agenda will go up with the final draft of the report. And I will
Hmm.
let you, and just so the County Road Commission is not too thrilled with any of those recommendations. So, but,
Seriously, they've already weighed in.
yeah. Well, and Bob, I still haven't found out what they've said. I haven't seen a response yet about that tree. Just so people know,
Ah,
cell tower, all right, that was going through Planning Commission. They only have maybe a truck every quarter going to this. And so the road commission wanted them to take down a landmark tree because of sight distance. And there's no friggin' traffic. So we
this is
asked our
at the
planner,
at the
yeah,
driveway entrance.
at the driveway. Right. You don't have traffic, okay? You have four trucks, maybe
Each
six trucks
year.
a year. Come on, folks. You don't take down a landmark tree for that. So anyway, I think shouldn't. Yeah. Anyway, there will be challenges ahead. So um, anyway, um, and they
Yeah.
tend to have jurisdiction. So
Yeah, they tend
um,
to.
yeah, they just have jurisdiction. So anything we want to do that is within the right of way has to basically be in collaboration with the road commission. So it'll be interesting moving ahead. So, but I'm not going to take out any of the recommendations just because the road commission says opposed to them.
Has that been acted on by the Board of Trustees yet? I forget. I
No,
think it was.
no.
No, it hasn't been. Okay.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
So
So part of this
emphasize.
discussion is, yeah, getting a consensus around it, and talking about what the priorities are. Obviously, it also dips into the whole housing piece and, where the priority sites are for housing since we have a limited sewer capacity. So, yeah, it'll be an
I made a
interesting
mis
discussion.
Yeah, I made a mistake. I was talking about the cell tower driveway
Oh, the cell
landmark
tower.
tree.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Yeah, it's anyway. So, well, the we'll just see how it goes, right? Okay.
Hmm.
Anything else, Kathy, from the mobility standpoint?
Um, Charlie, are we, I was not entirely clear on how we ended up on this. Are you setting up a meeting with the person at Scio Farms?
I think I
about looking
kind of
for a
got
shelter?
in the middle of that, yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I have it marked on my calendar to contact Patty's the manager's name there
Yeah,
this week. So, and I assume
okay,
everybody's back.
Yeah, everybody's back
Okay,
and
that's
ready
why I
to
marked
go.
it for this week, so hopefully I can get a hold of her tomorrow.
Okay, that would be great. We're planning to meet and discuss moving the bus shelter into the complex off of Jackson Road, the possibility of. So, initial meeting. And then other than that, waiting to hear back from Chris on if he's gotten to, he was going to talk to the residential manager at the new complex up by Baker Road, Woodview Commons,
With you. Mhm.
about where and when we want to set up the whole idea of putting in the structure along Jackson.
Right, because that's part of their um agreement. Also, I've heard that they've had some discussions about maybe decreasing some of their retail. They're having difficulty. They have had basically no one interested in the commercial parcels there. I mean, same issue that Menards is having too.
Right.
There's just no interest. And so they wanted to increase some of their housing and decrease some of the commercial in that complex too. So yeah, it's a interesting thing that there is the housing demand, and we're not seeing we haven't reached that tipping point yet where there's enough of a population to support more commercial growth.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, so I hope people will tune in for that joint meeting.
Oh,
Okay, the
and
compost, yeah, go
sorry,
ahead.
one other thing I should probably
Yeah.
mention. There is, MDOT is gathering feedback on, what's it called? I just saw it today for the first time. University area plans. It's like a long-term plan for bike paths and mixed use. What do you call them? The multi-use trails they call it the university area, and it covers both East Lansing and Ann Arbor areas and everything in between and all the counties that they're in. So I know nothing about it. They're taking comments until mid-August. They have a map attached and a long-range plan. I haven't had a chance to really look at it yet, but should I send that out to everybody as something to quick look at? Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I'll also send it. I would assume Suzanne Flowers is up on
Know
it,
about
but
it.
but it wouldn't hurt. Interesting. Yeah, the university area, that's sort of their we're in that planning area. I don't know why they call it the university area, but that's just their name for the region,
Yeah,
basically.
it's called
Mhm.
it's an active transportation plan is what it was called.
Hmm.
So
Okay. Yeah, so that's a really key thing to talk about, the link, the Zebra Road connection
mhm.
and border to border connections, and our issues with not being able to safely cross the 94. That's yeah, so we should probably get a lot of people commenting on that if we can.
Okay.
Mhm.
I will send it out tonight or tomorrow morning. So
Okay. All right. So yeah, Pam, this is sort of an esoteric thing, but if we can get more people commenting on the needs, that would be great.
It looks like Pam has ducked out. Wait a
Oh,
minute, she may have
there
just
she
come back.
goes.
Nope.
I was on another page looking up some information for another public comment. So excuse me. It's like, oh, you caught me. Um, yeah, and I'd like to add cherry pits and peach pits and fruit
Mhm.
pits to the compost question as well. As I opened up my refrigerator after my initial comment, it's like, oh yeah, there's that one too.
Okay,
Throw
fruit
them all
pits.
in and see what happens.
Yeah.
Kathy, if you will put Pam and I on that email, then we can get the word out to the SCN email thread too.
we'll do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah. Okay. We can become noisy Scio, right? Yeah. Okay. The composting and food waste final proposal. is going to be on the Planning Commission agenda for the 11th, and then I assume it's going to get a recommendation for approval, and then it'll go on to the BOT. It is in it, we have it. There's a recycling budget line item, so it's well below the total for that. So I'm thinking that it should go ahead. And Pam is, good with the old facts here and how we can clarify, what can go in and et cetera. And I can answer the paper plate item. Certain types can. They have to be, and they actually take BPI plastics as well. And so if you get and they take the bamboo utensils, there's a list of items, and it's much better than, I should say it's more inclusive of items to compost than Denali, which is the um waste composting program for Ann Arbor.
You want me to screen share that revised proposal, Jan? So we can look at?
Yeah, if you want to,
Hang on, let me
it'd
give
be
it a
good for
whirl here.
people just to kind of see.
Mhm.
So yeah, so basically, yeah, Charlie, do you want to just briefly go over it so people have an idea of
Hey.
of what's kind of moving
Can everybody
forward?
see that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey, Jan, Charlie,
Mhm.
I'm looking at the note from Mary Gillis about 3 weeks ago saying it appears there's seed money available to jumpstart the food waste composting idea here in Scio from Eagle.
That's a whole grant thing, which we didn't have enough time to
Yeah.
submit for. So we're just going to move ahead with the pilot and go for it.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
might come up again next year. We'll see.
Right. Or next quarter. Sometimes they do them quarterly too. So, yeah.
So did anybody have any particular questions? I have to
Yeah.
admit, I got the files and everything, but I just realized I haven't had a chance to look at the revised
Yeah,
one myself
so
until
basically,
now.
yeah, the idea would be to put the waste carts in um an enclosure that could be, so they wouldn't be open all the time, and have 3 days a week drop off. And so they would be pulled out and so forth, and people would volunteer, would be, sort of participants in the program. And so they would, to be participants in the program, there's a little education that goes along with it. And this way it will limit the contamination of 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 products. And the idea would be to actually hire an intern who would be sort of facilitating the program, meeting with people, educating folks, by the sustainability fair. And that way, we can, if it's a huge success, we can increase the size of the carts, we can add carts, etc. And certainly key our staff at the township hall, because it's going to be right out back. So starting to have containers within the township hall for compost too. So that's sort of the idea. It is modeled after kind of the program that Catton did and some other folks and some other folks have done. Starting small and just seeing where we can go with it. At the same time, making sure people understand how to compost their yard waste, and doing food waste, because this is primarily for folks who don't have the space, etc., to compost waste. It also allows people to do you know, if they have BPI plastics and so forth, to compost more things than just food waste and things that you wouldn't compost necessarily in your yard compost because of animals, etc., needing a higher heat to compost them. So this basically there's I think 40,000 something like that dollars in the
Sounds familiar.
Right.
budget for recycling composting. And so we do have, you know, the ability, if this goes great guns, we have the ability to expand it.
Well, a
This is
survey
very
showed we had, what
affordable.
was it? About 90 people that were interested?
Yeah, we had about 90 people that
Yeah.
were very interested in it.
Good. I mean, interested in the sense they said they would participate.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
And with an intern, we can go to, you know, Woodview Commons. We can, you know, we can go to some of the apartment buildings where they don't have any kind of composting and also, you know, post some things. So as soon as we get the okay, we'll, you know, can post a job description and get rolling. So. And what we did, I think what we added to is the intern, you know, there's wages, but also all of the um, other miscellaneous tax, et cetera, expenses for a part-time person. Okay, thoughts on that?
There was another document too.
Yeah, I think it's the actual proposal because that had, you know, the actual contract language,
Oh,
I
okay.
think was that. But
You want me to
this
bring
is
that up?
no, I think
Okay.
that'll be I actually have to get that to the township attorney to take a look at.
Yeah.
This is
Okay.
quite affordable as a
Yeah.
pilot program.
I mean, considering the one we were looking at was what, 60,000 or something?
Yes.
It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a quick question.
Sure, Pam.
If we've got 90 enthusiastic people, will every 2 weeks be enough? And if it's not enough, how quickly do you think they can turn over to once a week?
Instantly.
Great. Okay.
And I also think by the time you know, I'm sort of thinking, you know, winter time doesn't have as much stuff as maybe summer, but yeah, they're very flexible. Okay, great.
All set on that?
Because I'm with you, Pam. I'm hoping that we go to weekly really fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't have anything on resilience, although I do know that they are, you know, working away on the fire station, which will be our resilience center. The other thing I ran across, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I think it was the Wirecutter in the New York Times they had recommendations for, you know, an emergency kit for households. And I wanted to look at that because I think that would be a really cool thing for the sustainability fair to have, you know, some resources for people, you know, to
That would
have
be cool.
their go, yeah, their go kits. So, yeah, and if anybody's really interested in helping out with that, that'd be an easy one to pass off to somebody. Because I think that would be, you know, just assemble a couple different options and people can you know, take a photograph of lists or, you know, a QR code or whatever, and put together their to go things. And, you know, obviously there's the pet thing and the kid thing and the you know, uh, family thing. Okay.
Did the
Health.
chief have
Yeah.
any support in the resilience group, or was he
No,
all
we
by
don't have,
himself?
we should really recruit some folks that have an interest in that. Yeah.
Hi, Rob.
I was
And
gonna
once
say,
again, Tim Meadows has corrupted this entire committee.
Oh boy.
Rob, we got more work for you. Don't worry.
But that would be a good thing for, let me jot that down possibly for the newsletter. Somebody who's interested in pursuing that resilience piece within the township. Because I know there were a couple people that were very interested in getting CERT trained. But the chief still hasn't found somebody that can actually that's certified to do the training. It seems like it was you know, a 9/11 effort that has kind of faded. But
Yeah.
I think,
I'm sad
yeah,
about that because I was
yeah.
one of the people that wanted to get the CERT training and
Mm-hmm.
but David Reed might be a good person because he was on the fire guidance
Mm-hmm.
committee. And
Mm-hmm.
then with his house and what they have done, I don't know if you all have seen his house, but it's just absolutely
Mm-hmm.
magnificent and very, very, very sustainable. So he
Mm-hmm.
might be a person that would be a good,
Mm-hmm.
easy person to get into that.
Yeah, and that also there might be somebody, from the newsletter too that would be interested in the resilience kind of piece and supporting that effort. Mm-hmm. Okay. Molly, anything on health?
Not since our last meeting that we reported out on. I know we're planning on a New Year's oriented newsletter article to started, and I can work with you all on. And then um, it seems like there's no one else I know of like connected with this group that's pursuing other health stuff. It's like very interconnected with a lot of this. So I'm happy to support like when you came up, meaning like I was working with the Janine that you introduced me to when I first came on, and
Mm-hmm.
we've been connected again. So
Yeah.
happy to support if there's other ways that I can channel to like back up folks who are pursuing some of that stuff. Like you're talking about burn promotion information around health effects. Like I can support if anyone needs snippets.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to find the ways that I can best plug in
Yeah.
with existing
Yeah, and
stuff.
give some thought to what we might want to do at the sustainability fair too,
Okay.
around health and who we might invite to be a part of that might have some
Hmm.
resources.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah, because we really haven't had a health-centered
Yeah.
uh, piece because it does
Yeah.
weave through everything. I mean,
Totally.
yeah,
Totally.
I mean it's
Yeah.
one of those pieces that ties everything together in a way, and why why you want to do you want a sustainable environment so it's healthy
Yeah,
for people,
totally.
right?
Yeah, it's a cool idea to think about the fair. I'll think about if there's a angle that comes to mind. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's always environmental health angle, which is a little bit more clear, and someone from township or county might be willing to like support an angle like that, like water
Mm-hmm.
or something, like makes a pretty good visual if you're trying to do education around
Yeah.
that and
It
health
could be
connection.
something like around microplastics. It could be a little bit
Yeah.
about PFAS, how we do have the Roger has come in past years
Mm,
too to, just talk about the, dioxane and
yeah,
where the plume has and
totally.
so yeah. So a lot of it has been around water quality, but I
Yeah,
think we can definitely add the burning. And I mean, people I think have been, this is the second summer we've been affected by
that's what I was gonna
wildfires,
say too.
right?
I do think it's top of
Mhm.
mind with people who
Hmm.
maybe previously didn't learn as much about it. Visually
Hmm.
and physically noticing it can now make the connection to
Hmm.
more routine burns that are in their life and like fire levels are
Yeah. And
higher
now that you
on,
have,
yeah.
the weather report has an air quality index now. How
Yeah.
about that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what should you do? I mean, that could be a thing that might be a good
Hmm.
representation, how people can, what's
Hmm.
helpful to do in your own home during those higher exposures, because unfortunately we'll probably have a lot of summers like that. And it's good to relieve yourself when you are indoors by better filtering and stuff makes a really big difference. So
I
Hmm.
And
know,
actually, this might be the third summer. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Pam.
no, you
And
go ahead. I'll jump in.
Because we've been very affected that amateur astronomers by the
mm,
Canadian wildfire smoke. And actually, when I think about it, I think this is
that's the
the
third
third
one.
summer.
I know
Mm.
Yeah,
23 was pretty bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
because last
Mhm.
summer wasn't quite as bad as this summer, but the one before that was really
That's
bad.
right. 23
Yeah,
was really
so this is
the
really the third.
nasty one.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Pam, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I'm looking for this doctor's name. He's on Wagner. It's an alternative health. I know but he's in Scio Township,
Hmm.
and he was very he's very big on YouTube. And in the last year, he's been working with different ways to get rid of mold out of your lungs. And it's a nutritional healing center, or I think it's Dr. Schmidt. I'm blanking on his name, but he's like almost next to the hair salon on Wagner Road between uh, Jackson and Liberty. Anyway, I was thinking of him because I know what he does. I don't know how many of you are into alternative health. I went to one of his practitioners for a while, and but he's in Scio Township, and he might be interested in doing something like that.
Mhm.
Is he the guy that actually owns or manages the hair place? I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Oh,
Fran Coy.
Fran Coy.
no,
Yeah.
no. Oh yeah, Francois. No, I don't think so. He was in the complex at the corner, Libwag,
Mm.
and the manager of the complex wouldn't fix the black mold in the building that they were renting, and so they had to move elsewhere. And he talks about the process of removing mold from his lungs, and what's been successful. So, and that's an environmental, and that's why I'm thinking of him, because it's an environmental thing that sometimes you don't know until you get really sick that you've been exposed to black mold.
Yeah, 'cause for a minute I thought I knew who you were talking about, but maybe not. Because the guy I'm thinking of, I don't believe was a doctor. So
I think I mean, from a, a physical standpoint, there's mold, there's, the, uh, carbon monoxide, there's lead, we know we have PFAS, we have the microplastics, I think having something that's more uniform about these are all the things these are all the environmental impacts that are affecting our health, and just more of a rounded education of that
What
those
about
Dr.
areas.
radon?
Oh yeah,
Radon, yeah, radon would be good too.
it's Dr. Darren Schmidt, Schmidt.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway,
Thanks. Yeah, but mold is another one. And the other thing is, people do have to, just because you have mold and it's black isn't the black mold
right.
either,
A lot
Yeah.
of people
Yeah.
think so though. They see
Mhm.
mold that's black and but it isn't
Yeah.
that kind necessarily.
Mhm.
That's the big thing, I think, in any of these communications is like, how do you
Yeah.
share meaningful information, especially something that not everyone knows or that's really actionable, without it being so much that it's deterrent and like fear mongering or like making people feel overwhelmed, because a lot of these changes don't have to be huge and the fear doesn't have to be huge. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I just want to point out that health is also mental health, issues of loneliness, senior citizens that can't get out and about, not having places to go and hang out, with other people. And then,
Totally.
you can stretch this in a lot of different ways.
Mhm.
Good point.
Yeah. No. Interesting. Huh? All right. Okay. Moving to. Okay, so the fair, what I'd like people to do is, it's time to confirm that our list of folks are actually coming, sort of a confirmation. We do have a larger tent. We have a 30 by 60 tent, and I wanted to get, I have to do the layout in the next couple weeks. And I was wondering, do we want to turn the tent so, last year the main opening was facing the garden center? And I'm wondering, do we want to turn it so the main opening is, more facing, the road?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
And
All
we could
right.
put the fire truck so that, on the side rather than hidden.
Behind,
They
yeah,
could get
Behind
out.
it.
right,
And move
Right.
it back a little bit in the parking lot so we can have some of the bikes and some of the other
yeah.
things in front of it, maybe?
They just, yep.
We probably want to move it back just if that's going to be the main entrance.
Right, right. And have some activities,
Yeah.
in front to, yeah. And then I'm trying to think of, and Kathy, I'll do a preliminary layout and maybe we can work with Wave too and Andy on, where the fire truck is and excuse me, if Wave's going to actually do rides or just have people be able to come in the bus and so forth, kind of, because where that happens, needs to be a safe place. And then we have all the EVs, and they kind of get there first. So the tent goes up first, but then the EVs come. So, communicating clearly with them doesn't always work. But
Well, the
mhm.
EVs will be in the same place, right?
I'm thinking that's sort of where they like to be. So that makes sense. And then we can just have the tent over and back, and then maybe the fire truck can come up that other lane. Because there's a road lane by the garden center, and then there's a road lane, that backs up to the all the
Businesses.
businesses, yeah, that face Zeeb. So, and we do have that whole parking lot. So we can even have if like Wave needs to come through and up or something, it can cut actually through between the back part of the parking lot and where the tent is. And maybe that's where we put the tent, kind of at the back end of that, the back, the back of the first half of the parking lot. And have more activities out in front. Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that Shasta was thought it'd be a better idea to just have the bus sit there and have people board it and not.
Mhm.
I'm thinking
Move
especially
it.
if we have people trying out those electric bikes as well,
Right.
because that's just one more thing to add into the congestion.
The mix. Yeah, and Kathy, would you confirm, I want to put in the press release whether we're going to do a bike clinic or not.
Okay,
And I have to get that press release out in the next couple days, actually.
yeah, okay, I'll get it right away.
Yeah, so if you could get a confirmation that, they could have volunteers there to actually do a clinic, I think that would be awesome. Excuse me.
Who was going to be doing that, Kathy? I forget.
What's the name of the company? Common Cycle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't think anybody actually brought a bike for repair, did they?
Someone
Actually,
They
right
did.
yeah.
Did
But
somebody?
it wasn't advertised as, they weren't set up to be a clinic, but they said they usually do clinics for this kind of thing. So they were a little surprised, but it was such short notice. They didn't, but someone did show up, and the guy that was that tried to look at it was not able to do much with it because he didn't have too many tools, and he said the bike was really kind of a total wreck, totally worn out anyway. So
They like donations at the sustainability fair
they do
of
take
bikes.
of bikes. I don't know if they would have a way to get them back to their facility. They take donations for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
just thought maybe people might bring them in and then they'd be there too.
right.
Mhm.
I could
don't-
ask what they think about that, if they have facilities to deal with it, or force my
If you
husband
thought
to
it
bring
was
his trailer. Something.
If you thought it was a good idea, I don't know.
So did somebody say they take old bikes?
They
and-
take old bikes and refurbish them and sell them cheaply, or even give them away to people that can't afford bicycles.
Ah,
So,
yeah, I got a couple of kids' bikes that might
Mhm.
work for them.
mhm.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah,
they
because that would
also-
be nice to have an active one. And if you had those, even having them there and having them actively repairing something while people are there, even if they don't bring a bike, just to see, what bike repair would look like. Mhm.
Right, and they do, they have like Sunday afternoons or something, they open their facility, and they have a facility, a workshop with tools. And there are it's staffed by volunteers that know what they're doing, and you can go and learn to fix your own bike and get it cleaned up for the year, all that kind of thing. They'll help you fix your own bike. So,
Would it be appropriate to add to our advertising about the fair that you can bring your old bike to donate to?
That's what Kathy's going to
yeah,
ask about.
I'll ask if they can accommodate that kind of thing. I know when we've donated bikes, we've driven it over to their place and left it. So, given it to somebody during their
We'll
hours.
have an empty wave bus sitting there.
Yeah.
It'll
fire
be
truck.
Kathy's trailer.
Yeah.
So you're gonna check on that, Kathy?
I'll check.
Whether, 'cause I think that would be an incentive to bring people in.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's also contributes to the whole circular economy idea. So,
I know
I
I
thought last
volunteered there
year-
for several years, and I know a lot of times people bike from home to those events, and so I'm happy to
Mhm.
volunteer as someone to help ship bikes over. If they say, yeah, we can take X amount, but we need help,
Mhm.
I'm happy
Okay.
to help haul, have a vehicle that could support that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. It's a good idea to suggest that maybe they bring if they're able to, bring a demo
Mhm.
bike that they are currently working on, or see if someone in this community could help bring one over, because sometimes it is slow. Like I've seen them do events at a farmer's market, or, they've done tents at top of the park and all of that good stuff. And sometimes when it's slower, yeah, someone doesn't bring something, it's a nice way to engage the community in that conversation.
Yeah.
For the folks there to
Yeah,
do.
so Tim, bring your kids' bikes and we
Yeah.
can rehab them and then have them to give. That'd be great. Yeah. All right. Then the other thing is the I get a call when the tent's gonna go up, and it would be nice to have like another person there. I did go for a little increase in price, but I got the lighter weight tables this year because what we do is the tables get delivered. We don't want to leave them under the tent because we're responsible for the tables. So if somebody stole them, we'd have to replace all the tables. So what Meyer does is they give us the garden carts, and we stack them on the garden carts and lock them up um, in the center. So if there would be somebody that might be available on Saturday, it would be a phone call like, okay, they're coming to set up the tent to help with, stacking the tables and storing them in the garden center. So that's something. And then obviously we do the same thing with cleanup. And when the tent comes, we have to I get the phone call that they're there to take the tent down, we have to go and take the tables out of the garden center. But at least this year, well, we have more tables, but they're the light tables. So they're all the fiberglass ones. Yay.
I
I'm done
remember
with the plywood ones. What's that?
rolling those carts with the tables on them back into the garden center. And it seems like there was some issue there.
Oh,
Like
it's just,
the
it's hard to get them
curves.
over when they're so heavy. It's hard to get them over
Yeah,
all,
there
it's
was
not a
one
real
particular
smooth.
place where there was a difference in the level of the pavement. I forget what it was, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
actually fairly difficult.
It's that
Mhm.
walk.
Yeah, I think it'll be easier if it's lighter, so
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm. But we have more tables. We'll have 18 tables. Last year we had 15. So mhm. Yeah, so if there are some people, just we'll ask again September, but if it'd be helpful to have somebody on call for both of those, um both of those situations. And I have to say the Meyer staff has helped. They've been really good, but I don't want to, like, if they're not there, then it's a problem. So, okay. Um, Yeah, so as far as that goes, just getting it, so Kathy, if you can find out, I have it drafted already, and that's what I was wondering about, if we could really, so if we could do the donation thing and if we could do an actual, repair, I think that would be great. Um, and we'll talk
And
about the fire truck and the wave and all the different activities. And um, we'll have um, our bingo, and people can, get their. I haven't. We still have to work on getting some prizes that we can give away that are sustainable kinds of things. Maybe I can um, work on one of those little composting. We should have maybe some of the composting bins that people can, take and sign up as um, volunteers or participants. And somehow volunteers sound weird. Participants in the
Yeah.
program is a little bit more direct, I think. So, yeah.
yeah, I'm
Um,
guessing we could get a little bit of something out of the local farms instead of asking them to come and, man it.
mhm.
That's,
Yeah, I think I mean, I have some baskets, so if we get some, farm things, and we could put together some baskets, that would be, some prizes. Also it's, October, so any kind of gourds and pumpkins and that kind of stuff, people like. Um,
Mhm.
so,
Yeah,
mhm.
okay.
All right. So if we do some farm donations. Mhm. And we have those cups from those Yeti um, cups that we
Those
got
are
from
nice.
CLC. Yeah, those are, yeah. They have Scio, I don't know, on them, but hey, why not? They're green. All right, so if we can assemble some of those, if everyone else has any ideas or has some things that they think that might be good for um, a little bingo prizes, that'd be great. Um, All right, then, Tim, are we gonna try and do the is it the 4th meeting at the farm?
September 4th. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that, but let's see. September 4th.
That's our next meeting,
Yeah.
and we were gonna maybe do a six. My cat is being. We were thinking about maybe, bringing some food and having a little dinner at 6, and then having our meeting at 7, and still doing it via Zoom, but might
Yeah,
not be the the easiest thing. Or do we want to?
work. I'm not sure that I've got
Hmm.
the reach of my uh, setup here out far,
Okay.
which means we couldn't have a meeting, right? Because it's got to be public.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we should have it. Maybe we should just do another kind of get together, a more informal get together, and just do our regular meeting September 4th, and have something separate from a meeting. That might be easier.
Mhm.
And so the question is, and it might be good to do something, Tim, maybe think about an evening that might work for you. Because it might be good, our meeting in October is a little too close to the fair. We might, want to just have an informal, just fair prep kind of dinner meeting.
Mhm. September, back to September 4th.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it. It's possible to gather here at 6 informally and start the meeting an hour later. And in the meantime, in that hour, we could walk around the farm,
Mm-hmm.
take a look at what's going on here, and then get either in my living room as a group and get online,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be no problem, or on our
Okay.
porch. That's a possibility too. Yeah, so I think we could do it that way.
We could do it that way? Okay, okay, that'd be cool. Are people up for that?
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Yeah.
Nothing like a field
So,
trip.
Kathy, Molly,
all
Charlie,
right.
Rob Pattinson, Rob Pattinson.
Might be
He's afraid
online
we'll find
only.
something for him to do.
Don't hide, Rob.
Jim, I will not be mowing your lawn on September 4th.
Ah, darn it.
But I will see you there. That sounds lovely.
Okay, so maybe we can do a potluck kind of thing.
Sure.
And people can bring stuff to share and their own utensils and plates and that type of thing.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll
Jim, if I'm gonna get in touch with Sun Times and
yeah.
Doug or Chuck, whatever his last name is, who's the owner, I'll ask them also if they would put in a public service announcement of the fair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe twice, but as they
Mm-hmm.
have done for some, public things.
Okay.
We should kind of pick out the times for those. The date of the fair is October, what is it?
Yeah, so it is um
October 5.
yeah, it's October 5th. And set up the fair is from 12 to 3:30, basically. Now the EVs will be there earlier, so they can come and I have to coordinate with them. They usually come, like they're there by 10 and leave by 2 usually.
So I would ask them to have an article in their paper, which comes out on Thursdays, and I would ask them to do
Mm-hmm.
it on the 2nd and maybe 2 weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out the Sun Times is one of my customers, so I was able to look that up. And it's Chuck Colby. Colby.
Yeah. KOL?
No, COL.
Yeah,
Colby. Yep.
Colby, right.
Okay.
Pretty nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wants to do a little story on the farm here, I think. So I got that reason to call him.
Oh, maybe he wants to come to dinner with us.
Do you have his number, Charlie?
Yeah, hang on.
I have it
Back in there.
in my emails or texts somewhere.
The main number for the Sun Times is,
He gave me his cell number. Do you
well,
have-
I might have that too. Hang on, I just gotta look at a different file here.
Mm-hmm.
One moment.
Oh, Jim.
Okay, so
No, I've got Chuck's email address, but
Okay.
I
well,
don't see
call
his
him
cell
sometimes.
phone.
I can't find his, but okay.
okay. So Charlie, maybe you can email Tim the email address, but
Sure.
yeah. Okay, that'd be great.
All right.
Yeah, so just finishing up here because we're approaching 8:30. Molly, you and I can get together on sort of that burn thing and then I'll run by the article with you, Charlie, and Jeff on the food waste launch. Because we need to have that by September 8th. So working on that, prior to our September 4th meeting is probably a good idea. Um,
And the planning commission's gonna address it on the 11th
yeah,
this
Yeah.
month, yeah.
yeah, this month. And then it'll
Hope
go
to have some support there, or
oh, yeah.
I don't know, I mean, it's
I'll
really the
support
board
it.
that's gonna vote on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll just be, so it has a formal recommendation going to Board
Right,
of Trustees, but I'm just talking with people, I think it's something that most people are interested in doing because it also helps out, the township hall as a and their food waste too. And I did talk to the county, and they already have their own um, composting activities going on there, so it'll just be us. Mhm. Now, the other thing will be to find out where we want to put that storage unit, because we are going to have the
And
construction going on and so forth.
Right.
So we'll have to talk to probably um, Brandon about that. He's our facilities person and utilities. Okay.
could you,
I think that's all I have. Oh, minutes. Public comment. Any other public comment? Pam.
I have two. We had our septic field pumped, our septic tank pumped, and the
Mhm.
driver was very talkative and chatty. And I'd heard this before, but I think it's a good thing to remind people, especially with the composting, is that there are some homes that are on well and septic where they have a disposal.
Mhm.
And the driver was saying that that is the quickest way to ruin your septic field is to have food waste be
Mm.
put into your system. And
Mhm.
so just as that might be one of the marketing things that you could tie in, and
Mhm.
just throwing that out there. The other one, more importantly, is I recommend everybody go to the board meeting on Tuesday, N3 on the agenda. Somebody at the township has decided it might be a good idea to dissolve the DDA. And it is N3 in the board packet. And I personally am very, very, very against it. I think that the DDA is very much needed, and it's kind of a shock that some board members are feeling this way. But there's been some tiffs between DDA and a couple board members, and um, I'm on Team DDA. So there you go.
How close
Thank
is the
you.
DDA to
I
paying off?
did not know that that was on. I mean, why do that before we even discussing Jackson Road? I don't know.
Yeah. And
Uh,
are the bonds paid off for the phase
no,
3? Well,
no.
then they can't dissolve anyway.
Well, yes, they can. As it turns out, they can.
Okay,
And
because when I was working on phase 3, we were all convinced then that we could not dissolve
yep.
until that was paid off.
So I guess there are situations that it can be dissolved
Hmm.
by the board because the board was the one that created it. It was their approval. And if you go back to I think it's the last board meeting, Rob helped me out, that they discussed this at length.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and several DDA members and even the DDA attorney spoke up. And yeah, so
In fact, it doesn't expire until 2031, and we asked that exact question, Charlie, of can they um, um, a- abolish it before 2031? And it was the DDA attorney who said in some circumstances that can be possible.
Hmm.
Obviously, he wasn't recommending it, but apparently it is indeed possible.
There is some way to do it, huh?
Yep.
Because then the township would assume the bonds or something to pay off for the
I
well,
would
bonds.
imagine, yeah.
it's my understanding, and help me out here, Rob, that the township would actually lose some of the captured money. So by having the DDA, so part of the issues, big cat fight, if you will, is that some of like the fire department went before the voters and it was done wrong. So the DDA captures some of that money. And I guess there there might be one or two others that the DDA captures that they really shouldn't have captured. And so the board was asking for the DDA to return that captured money to the township because the fire department doesn't have enough money to build their new fire station. if they don't get that money over the next 10 years returned to them. And um, some of the board members offended the DDA, and it could have been handled a whole lot better. I was appalled. But anyway, long story short, please join in and listen to the meeting on Tuesday and listen to the discussion. Thank you.
Okay,
One,
thank you.
one thing that Linda Smith pointed out during the board meeting was that Scio Township will lose somewhere between $1 million and $1.5 million in millage captures if we lose the DDA, because then it goes straight on through to the county and to the state. So, and some on the board said they were happy for the taxes to go to the schools and that sort of thing. And my point, and I think this is important, is keeping our taxes local is very important, and this is one way of doing that. And why dissolve something that has been a big benefit? So
Yeah.
It like Pam said, it's a cat fight.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for alerting me because I didn't even know that was on the agenda. So it's on, is it this next Tuesdays?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. Then minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to our minutes? Thank you, Jeff, for standing in for Kathy.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I'll support that.
Supported Charlie and Bob. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Great. Kathy, if you could just go ahead and transmit those per your normal, that'd be great. And I think that is it. We just have to start working on that newsletter article. So great.
Well, one thing
Thanks,
real quick,
Jan.
Jen. Do you think
Yes.
there would be any benefit in maybe having somebody from Warma at the sustainability fair?
Yes.
I'm just thinking that because I know, I went to that meeting last Monday,
Oh, good.
and we got the report from Tom. He does really, really good reports, and there was a lot of stuff in it. But there was a few other things I kind of gathered just in some other conversations. And
Uh-huh.
one of them is that they don't necessarily think doing an electronics recycle day is really all that valuable. I think they think it might be somewhat redundant with other efforts going on. It was also pointed out to me that those are really very hard to manage. On the other hand, if we were going to do one, the county would be willing to help us get that set up because they've had some experience with it. But they did caution that it does tend to be expensive and there's a lot of hassle to it. But
Right.
on the
And
other
we
hand,
have
of course,
Computer Alley, right?
yeah,
We just have to get the word out.
yeah. But they're very, very interested, obviously, in our compost program. And in fact, that's what the next several meetings are gonna be focused on. So
Oh, great. Yeah. So, yeah, if we can, make whatever we're using available to anybody else. I mean, because if Dexter wanted to do it and, some of the other surrounding townships, that would be really great for My Green Michigan, to be, and then it might make it even more affordable for some of the food businesses to do it. And that's really, if they can do back of the house food waste composting, that's awesome.
well,
I
maybe
mean,
the
that's really
conversation at Warma,
my goal is to,
yeah.
try and expand it so it can be more affordable for all of Scio to do that. And then Planning Commission has to start looking at their ordinances so we can create spaces for both recycling, commercial recycling, and composting because we don't require the space, and so people don't provide it, and that becomes an issue. So anyway, enough. Okay, thanks everyone. So we're going to be 6 o'clock at Skinny Farm. Tim, if you could email me some directions, we'll kind of get out more of a email invite to folks, and then we'll have our regular meeting via Zoom, either on the porch or in the living room. And That'll be fun.
And
It
you're
will
talking
be.
for the October meeting.
No, this is the September.
September.
Oh, you are
September
September,
4th.
okay.
The next meeting, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
do that, Jan. And you're gonna send me that new list of farms.
Yes, the map, and I'll send it to Dana too.
Okay,
Thanks,
Okay.
Cool.
everybody.
Thanks, Jan.
move to
Hey,
adjourn.
thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Night, gang, take care.